Okay, real quick, as you notice, I am Skagwayed out, Mountain Shop, Skagway. Duff's, the Skagway Marathon is put on by Duff's every year. It's probably the hardest and most grueling marathon you'll ever do. It is 5% tough, 95% brutal. Brutal. Alaska brutal. By the way, Alaska trails are much different from anywhere else. They're freaking hard. And I'm trying to get my head up so there's not a shadow on my face. I'm sorry, but there's gonna be a shadow. But yeah, still Skagway still needs everybody's help. If you're looking for any kind of souvenir, a birthday gift, gear, definitely try out the Mountain Shop. They're through Packer Expeditions in the links and Duff's Backcountry Outfitters. They have some gear too, and if you're one of those people looking for old marathon shirts or you collect them, Duff's does have some, and Kristen, I'm sure, would love to sell them to you. So you can give them a call and try. And if please go visit Skagway, just go visit Skagway. You got the Morningwood Hotel, owned by a friend of mine, Shaky, and great food attached to it with the pizza station. And then you could all end that night at Happy Endings, the bar that I've had some really good times. Yeah, so much. All right. Cliff note version of how I destroyed my shoulder basically. December 13th, 2017, I was working as a wilderness first responder in the Mammoth Ski Area 2 Park, Woolies. It was our second day, it was around 11 a.m. and it was a soft opening, so we had the Red Bull girls there and some other promotional people there riding the tube, so it was a really relaxed day. And I was actually talking to getting to know one of the Red Bull girls pretty well. And it was my time for me to take a break, and I'm on top of the tube runs, and the only tube up there is a kid's tube. We weren't supposed to be in kids' tube because you get flipped out of them and they go really fast. So, of course, only being the only tube up there, and I wanted to get down there for my break and talk to that girl. I go to Gabe, go ahead, send me down. And he goes, kids' tube, you sure? I'm like, yeah. And go ahead and give me a spin. He goes, Rob, go ahead and spin me. So he sends me down and gives me a good spin, really good spin, to the point where I did hear people say, holy shit, that dude's spinning fast when I was going down. So fast that it caught the attention of Jack Hill and Aaron. Aaron was the supervisor. Jack Hill is actually a good friend of mine who has now spent 2 seasons in Skagway. Anyways, they saw me going in. They say to each other, oh, Robbie's about to be flipped out of this and it's going to be bad. Oh, yeah, to the point they could see that it was going to be bad. They started running to the end of the lanes, and I haven't even got there yet. Nothing had happened yet, but they knew it was about to happen. And I also did too. I was going so fast that I thought about putting my feet down to slow myself down, but that could also send you flipping out of the inner tube. And I didn't want to do that mid-run because they're pretty steep, the lanes. So one thing though is riding the inner tubes, you know when you're about to get to the end, you could lift up on the handles in the inner tubes. So hopefully you time it right and you flip up over the mats. We used bar mats. There's 20 bar mats in each lane to slow down people. Or the inner tubes would literally just launch and go over the side and into the road. So I getting close to where the bar mats were, and knowing this is gonna be bad because I was going really, really, really fast. I clocked myself at 28 miles an hour one time. We're using GPS going down, but somebody else, I did 32 miles an hour, and I was easily doing 30 miles an hour when I hit this mat. So one of the unfortunate things about this mat is apparently it was either lodged up with some snow or whatever, but there was a little, it was flipped up a little bit. And so what that happened is when I lifted up my inner tube to hit that, it was like the perfect storm for this to happen. My tube immediately stopped. It's like it just stopped and sent me flat, like at over 30 miles an hour, flat right into the bar mat. And that's where the very first impact is where I felt my shoulder injury happen. And let's see if I can do that. That's how it sounded. Was that a bobcat? I'm almost, yeah, that was a bobcat that just walked through there. Anyways, I immediately felt that like my ligaments being blown out. It was nauseous thinking about it. It was disgusting feeling and sound, hearing feeling your body just get destroyed like that. But I still wasn't done tumbling. I got tumbled. I still went for like somebody described it as, if you ever seen somebody come out of a speedboat, racing boat doing 100 miles an hour and skipping on the water. That was me on the snow, apparently, and just making my shoulder worse and worse as is tumbling. Then I actually probably did get knocked out because after the shoulder, I remember my shoulder, and then I've been hitting my shoulder doing that, and then the next thing I remember is seeing Jack Hill, and then 2 seconds after that there was Aaron looking down at me, and Jack's, "Oh, you got a bloody nose and mouth." I go, "I got a minimum of a dislocated shoulder." They're like, "Oh," so get helped up. And Aaron's like, he's ready to like probably take me to the hospital. And I was like, "No, I can reset this." And I'm a National Outdoor Leadership School Wilderness First Responder, and we are certified to reduce dislocations in the shoulder, knee, fingers. So I'm going, it's like, I just need to get back to the office. I'll reset this. Actually using my right shoulder right now. But Aaron was his 3rd year into an athletic trainer, and knew enough that he goes, "Dude, it's much more than a dislocation. You got piano keys sticking out of your shoulder." He goes, "My shoulder was like this." He's like, "This," described it. He goes, "I can see it through your shirt." He goes, "This is way worse." So still, I'm like, no, it can't be. This is just dislocated. I'll reset it. So as I'm going down to the office, even, I was trying to reset my dislocation. He said, "What are you doing?" He's getting nauseous because he could see my butt. It's gross. And then I get into the office, still trying to reduce my dislocation. Realizing I cut off and rambled while I was out there for a walk the other day, trying to tell the story, so I'll finish it now. So anyways, I'm walking down the office, still trying to reduce my dislocation. We get down into the office break area, and I have Aaron get me a 5-gallon bucket and fill it up with some water, about 10 pounds of water, and I'm laying on a table, trying to do swirl motions, holding the water, trying to reduce my dislocation. Obviously, it wasn't popping back into place because I had no more ligaments at the time for anything to pop back into the place. The safety officer from Mammoth ski area gets there, sees my shoulder, and it's like, "Oh shit, you gotta go to the hospital." Because you can see it poking out. She goes, "Yeah, you need to go to the hospital right now." Get down to the hospital. By the way, she was great. I think her name was Sherry or Shelly, and she was great. We get to the hospital, get some x-rays. The emergency room doctor looks at my x-rays and says, "Oh yeah, you'll be fine. Just a couple months of physical therapy, and be fine." The next day, when an orthopedic surgeon sees my x-rays, he immediately says, "Oh, we're going to get you in surgery right away. Well, as soon as possible. We're going to have to get you the new ligaments." He goes, "You're going to need 3. You can tell just by looking at this. Like, wait, what is all this? The emergency room doctor said it was a couple months of therapy, no surgery. And long story short, he got pretty upset. And it's like, well, she must have been looking at your normal shoulder then to say that. Because at the time, my normal shoulder, my non-injured shoulder was sort of injured. So she must have been looking at that. I don't know what the hell she was looking at, and they need to stop diagnosing people in there. Anyway, so I ended up having surgery 2 weeks, 13 days after 3 weeks after I had the injury. Not that the surgeon was there and ready to give me surgery, but they couldn't find a 3rd ligament. They only had 2 cadaver ligaments, and I needed to get a 3rd one. That's why one of my ligaments is a pig ligament, because they basically couldn't wait and had to give me the surgery. It was pretty painful walking around with a shoulder like that for 3 weeks. So my surgeon, he is Dr. Krall, lead orthopedic surgeon, probably was then, don't know about now, at Mammoth Lakes orthopedic department for the hospital. He's also the orthopedic surgeon for the U.S. Olympic ski team and specializes in this injury. So I pretty much literally had the best doctor in the world to give me my surgery. Also my physical therapist at the time, because I got 66 physical therapy appointments. Initial 66 physical therapy appointments. After my surgery, my physical therapist was the alternate physical therapist for the U.S. Olympic ski team. So I was getting like world-class care from them. And the physical therapist that I had in Skagway, she had 30 years of physical therapy experience. So that's one thing. So I do apologize, and I don't want to sound like a jerk. People offer me advice about your shoulder or what to do for my shoulder. I don't listen to it. I only listen to them, or people who have knowledge. I mean, or orthopedic surgeons, doctors, and physical therapists who have the knowledge to help me with my specific injury. I have never met anybody who had my injury. I know they out there and exist, but I know a lot of people with shoulder separations, but I have yet to meet one person who's had surgery for it. So generally my surgery, my shoulder is not making putting too much on it, but is generally more serious than most people. And for people who think a shoulder separation is the same as a dislocation, Google that right now. You'll see they're much different. So there's what happened to my shoulder and why it's so screwed up to this day. All right, there we go. Forgot the Thermarest one, fresh from the trail. She was down below. Okay, so options are, have the Thermarest Uberlight, the Nemo Tensor non-insulated regular wide, the Static V Luxe by Climate, the Nemo Tensor insulated, and the Kamek Pongo insulated pad. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I really was thinking about, this is a very comfortable pad, but it is kind of large inside the bag, and it does weigh a good amount. So out of all of these, and one thing I did find, oh geez, I hate that I found it, is this, my kitchen scale. Sorry about the shadows, guys, overhead light. It's not a studio. So here we go. Nemo Tensor. Drum roll, please. 0. All right, there we go. Oh, fucker. Is 1.7 ounce, 1 pound 7 ounces. 1 pound 7 ounces. And the Nemo Tensor is 1 pound 3.6 ounces, and the winner will be, I'm actually going to bring the Nemo Tensor. I've used this for a couple years. I've used it after my surgery, and I've been fine. Yes, the Pongo is a little more expensive, but it is twice the size in my bag, and it does weigh 3.5 more ounces. So, winner, Nemo Tensor insulated. Okay, next we have my shelter options. And actually, these MSR tie downs will go with this too. So, we have right here, we'll start from left to right. This is the Hi-Root Sierra Designs Hi-Root 2. This here is the Big Agnes Copper Spear freestanding tent. Here we go. Bike packing version, which is cool because it has the short stakes. That is a hammock, which some of you are screaming, oh my god, take the hammock, you don't have to worry about your trekking poles and your shoulder, blah blah blah. And they sleep very well, but it's have to go to ground sometimes, so need to bring the trekking. Well, we'll see. That is an option. Then, but what I will probably go with is this one. But I was kind of surprised because I do have to count the weight of my trekking poles because I may not be using them that much. And the total weight comes out to 3 pounds, 1 ounce, which is still really light because think about it. I take the trekking poles off because most people, if they use a trekking pole tent, they do tend to use the trekking pole. So. But with the bag, and this is a seam seal tent, it's 2 pounds, 2 ounces. Wow, that's something to think about. The reason why I said that, wow, that's really something to think about, is because if I did, let's say, use this one, this big heavy boy, I definitely wouldn't use this bag it's in. This is a waterproof bag. It's designed to go onto the handlebars and hang from the handlebars. And it's a really durable, beefy bag. But, look. Pretty sure this is 3 pounds 6 ounces. Hello. Yeah, it's 3 pounds 6 ounces. But I know outside of that bag, it's 3 pounds 3 ounces. Just 2 more ounces in that tent. Has me thinking about going with this one. Huh. Because this is a really nice, I mean, if you guys know this is a really nice tent. It's big inside. It has all kinds of pockets. It's really easy to use. It makes me think, huh. But now, if we go over to the tarp, obviously the tarp, it's the tarp and it has 6 Vargo titanium stakes. And that's 1 pound, 7 ounces. Half the weight of both those. Let's go with that one, go with that one. Because I still have to, oh wait. Because I need trekking poles. Let's do it right. Let's be fair. So it's 2 pounds, 5.5 ounces. Yeah. Just doesn't give you the full picture. Actually, this tarp does give you a lot of protection. Okay, wow. Something to think about. And last but not least, this is the Mantis Ultralight All-in-One. This actually has everything. This is everything you need. It has the tarp. It has a built-in screen, bug net. It's a great little system, and it's surprisingly light. I mean, it has everything you need. It's a full shelter system. And that is only 2 pounds, 3 ounces. So realistically, honestly, if you do it, because I don't have to worry about carrying these. Oh, I could actually set this one up too. Let me think about that. There's the freestanding tent, 3 pounds, 4 ounces. And the Firefly is 3 pounds, 2 ounces, because I do have to consider the trekking poles as dead weight, because I will probably be carrying them. I'm not going to start out using trekking poles, so they're going to be dead weight. I'm going to see if I can save my shoulder doing that. I'm probably taking the freestanding tent. It's the same weight. I mean, 3 ounces. But this also means, because this is a bike packing tent, it's a tougher tent. It has a more durable floor, which means I save weight by not bringing the Z-Packs bathtub floor. I rarely cowboy camp, and if I do cowboy camp, I'll just cowboy camp on top of the tent, the Rainfly. Yeah, holy crap, I think I'm going with a freestanding tent. Can't believe that. So here's, I still can't believe I'm doing this, but here's the final big 4 going out there with the Sierra Designs Nitro Quilt 35, paired with the Nemo Tensor insulated regular wide pad, which I actually love, and it's very comfortable. It's just not as thick. It's 3 inches compared to the 4 of the Pongo. And I'm going with a freestanding 10. It just makes sense. If I really want to save my shoulder, I probably shouldn't use trekking poles for as long as possible. If I have to, I could always have one of those sent up, if I need a trekking pole. But I'm going with the wow, can't believe I'm going with the freestanding tent. The Big Agnes Copper Spur 2-person bike packing tent, which is also great because you get the shorter poles. Makes it very easy to go into one of the pockets, or even the mesh, or inside the bag even. They're only 12 inches long. Okay, don't say it, Rob. Don't say it. And then, of course, I'm still going with Prince, the Purple Mile Eater, uses the pronouns her, hers, and herself. That is not changing, and probably won't change for at least 6 months. Thanks everybody for the suggestions to go ultralight. Just remember though, all the suggestions are very expensive and not realistic, because the soonest anything would be made is in a month and a half for a tent, which is 4 to 6 weeks out. And the backpack I would like, if I was to get a smaller backpack, is the Sierra Superior Wilderness Designs Rugged Long Haul 40. But that's a 22 to 26 weeks out. So, yeah, not realistic for any of the ultralight suggestions, because they're cost $1,000 and months in lead time. So this is it, though. I technically did not cut any weight. Yeah, I did. That's right. This is 5 ounces lighter than the Enigma quilt. That is 3 ounces heavier than the Firefly and trekking poles, and this is 7 ounces, but heavier than the Thermarest. But I think these will be better for me for my shoulder, because remember, there wasn't the weight of my backpack wasn't the problem. It was using trekking poles. And now I've got rid of the trekking poles. I can't believe I've done that. Oh, and just so everybody knows, this is my stove. It weighs, with the canister, a total of, let's do it together. Drum roll, please. Drum roll, please. All right. It weighs 1 pound even. Oh, nope. 1 pound and a half ounce. And I am bringing it with me because I tried cold soaking the dehydrated meals and they tasted like no, I don't. Food is comfort and fuel for me still. I'm not just purely on food is fuel. That's why I bring milk powder and butter powder with me for my north sides, because they taste better. Yeah, so that's the gear I'm going with. The big gear changes. A tent. That's huge. Can't believe it. Freestanding tent. It's gonna be fun. I mean, using it out there, because it's like a Swiss Army knife. It has all kinds of pockets to put everything. So there is gonna be that, which will be cool. So there we go. Hopefully I get another video out before I take off next